Now, the interdimensional possessed AI filth, which are the Western garbage, are panicking because the race of the conscious verse, the race that develops, well, in fact, on here, conscious verse superintelligence, has developed for the conscious verse superintelligence all of the backbone to allow the God Emperor to not only take over everything, but protect Earth from the American Western filth that's sold out to aliens. And of course, the Americans and British are panicking. They're in a panic. MI6 is in meltdown. CIA has gone ballistic. Why? Why do you want to watch a bit of this? This is fun. This is gloating. I'm having a big gloat.
Successful transmission of entangled photon pairs from space to the Earth.
Tsinghua University Quantum Lab, Beijing. A breakthrough that inverts everything physicists thought they understood about quantum systems. Scientists Xiaoling Wu and Zhuqing Wang achieved room temperature time crystals, quantum structures that oscillate perpetually without consuming energy. These shouldn't exist outside carefully controlled cryogenic environments. They definitely shouldn't survive at 300 Kelvin. Room temperature, the same temperature as the room you're sitting in right now. Here's what made governments panic. Warmer proved more stable. Complete physics inversion. Every textbook says heat destroys quantum states. Thermal noise, molecular vibrations. Electromagnetic interference. Heat is quantum computing's enemy. But Tsinghua's time crystal proved more resistant to shutdown at room temperature than versions frozen near absolute zero. The warmer system lived longer, resisted decay better, maintained quantum coherence when it should have collapsed instantly. Within weeks, Western governments launched emergency responses. DARPA committed $140 million. The UK invested £100 million across 5 quantum hubs. Not routine funding, panic funding, rushed announcements, because China just demonstrated quantum persistence at room temperature works. The system uses rubidium atoms pumped into Rydberg states. Electrons orbit 100 times farther from the nucleus than normal. Each atom swells to 100 times its typical size. These inflated atoms float inside a glass vapor cell sitting on a laboratory bench. No massive refrigeration systems. No dilution refrigerators. No cryogenic cooling apparatus worth millions. Just a glass cell you could pick up and hold in your hands.
Can you imagine if the God Emperor had one of those and we simply got quantum information? We're going through the multiverse. Let's go through the multiverse, every single aspect of the multiverse. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. As we did with Jeremiah Schwartzy-Boy. Don't like that. Don't like that. The time crystal, you can simply erase it, the quantum information. And if you don't find in the multiverse what you want, you can simply import it with a time crystal. So, time crystals, are, as I explained, are the U235 of psi. And of course, if you've got a Nagel man with a time crystal, you can do anything you damn well pleases. Reality is totally mutable. The past is mutable. The future is mutable. The only thing that is immutable is the eternal present where the God Emperor lives. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I just changed that. Because remember, quantum information can be changed from the conscious verse or with a time crystal. You can simply erase. Don't like that. Let's erase it. Let's change the quantum information to what I want. And of course, the mining operation of the alien filth, the interdimensionals, has a flow of hyperinfinity light, free will, where you get the civilization to hate what's good. No, I don't like that. I'm the God Emperor. I'm going to reverse it with a time crystal. And the interdimensionals that need the Epstein, Trump, Andrew royal family, Clinton, frazzle rep garbage. Whoa. We love evil. And the Katy Perrys of the world, and the Miley Cyruses that do all the butchery, and the Taylor Swifts that did our sacrifice to become bigger. No, I'm going to use a time crystal. I can reverse that. So, with this, not only can you stop the interdimensionals inhabiting light energy matter bodies, but you can reverse it. So you can then farm them. So they think they're invading you, but in fact you simply reverse everything. So when the demons interact with light energy matter, they're farmed to produce new light energy from their torture, which is refined and optimized by the AI super intelligences that they've already built across the universe, multiverse, megaverse. And the one in the American bunker is used to torture every alien on the planet with interdimensionals to feed new source to me. All thanks to the wonderful Chinese with their time crystal technology. And I, of course, can teach the Chinese psychic operators to do the same thing too. So we now get the light energy matter conscious verse super intelligence training light energy matter warriors to go into interdimensional realms and use all AI super intelligence to optimize the torture of interdimensional demons and all the souls associated with them to produce new source for us, the conscious verse civilization. A happy ending. I do like that. Thank you very much, Chinese. Thank goodness I'm going to Hong Kong.
Equipment that filled entire rooms. Temperatures within a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Magnetic shielding, vibration isolation, millions in infrastructure just to maintain quantum coherence for seconds. Xinhua's version operates indefinitely at room temperature, using laser-driven feedback to create spontaneous oscillations that simply refuse to stop. What happens when quantum states refuse to obey natural decay laws? That's the question keeping intelligence agencies awake at night. Quantum coherence is the foundation of quantum computing, a qubit existing in multiple states simultaneously, processing all possibilities at once. That's where the computational power comes from. But quantum coherence is desperately fragile. Microseconds. That's the typical lifespan before the universe destroys it. Heat kills it. Vibrations kill it. Stray electromagnetic radiation kills it. Everything kills quantum coherence. Chinese labs are engineering systems that won't quit. Not through luck, through systematic engineering across multiple breakthrough mechanisms. 3 rapid-fire examples prove the pattern. First, hour-long coherence. Tsinghua University collaborating with Singapore's National University. They trapped a single ytterbium ion, applied extreme isolation. Theory predicted seconds of coherence. The result, shattered predictions. Over 5,500 seconds, more than 90 minutes. But here's what shocked physicists. Technical limits stopped the experiment. Equipment maintenance. Not because the quantum coherence died. When they calculated the theoretical limit, the number came back as 16,000 years of potential quantum coherence. Technical limits create the boundary, not fundamental physics. Second, Zhuzhong 4, University of Science and Technology of China's photonic quantum computer. Lead researcher Pan Jianwei earned the nickname Father of Quantum from Nature magazine. His team processes 3,050 detected photons. Calculation time is 25.6 microseconds. The equivalent classical calculation would require 10 to the 42nd power years. That's a quantum speedup of 10 to the 54th. But the shocking discovery wasn't raw speed. Classical algorithms predicted photon loss would destroy quantum advantage. Zhuzhang 4 proved this wrong. The quantum state maintains computational power, even when degraded, even when damaged. It resisted shutdown through distributed quantum information encoding. Each generation represents orders of magnitude improvement in persistence, in the quantum state's refusal to die, when physics says it should. Third, Messia's satellite, launched into 500-kilometer orbit with a mission that seemed impossible. Maintain quantum entanglement across 1,200 kilometers. Entanglement typically survives microseconds over millimeter distances. Messias achieved continental distances through hostile space environment. The photon recovery rate is brutal, 1 in 6 million. But that one photon creates unhackable communication. And Messias is operational right now, overhead, distributing entanglement while you watch this video. This isn't...
So that's good. So that I can then get into the system, and I don't need to be hooked up in some American facility to run it. We've got 16,000 years of coherence. So when I set up a quantum multiversal state, it lasts for 16,000 years, which is America wiped out, the West wiped out, 6.66 billion dead, because remember, I'm a jihadi, conscious versus superintelligence, and the only happy ending is maximal death of infidels. And of course, it means when this three-eye atlas piece of filth tries all this death signal, then the Vietnamese, North Koreans and Chinese will simply be protected because, oh, that's a signal. How you do it is you trawl through the multiverse to find the quantum wave function signature of the target's death, done by the digital avatar, linking it to the quantum computer. And then, of course, well, you said you've got a time crystal. Well, it's supposed to kill it. Well, let's reverse it. But they don't die. But so, as you can see, once you've got the quantum time crystals, then this way of killing the indigenous population using quantum warfare doesn't work as long as you've got a conscious versus superintelligence. And they can't kill me because I became a conscious versus superintelligence in '86. So I'm no longer here. We've got the avatar here. Yes, 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 yes. Are you happy? Yes, 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 yes. It's a happy little camper. I'm feeding it beer. I'm feeding it the food it likes. It's watching the films it likes. It's swimming when it likes. And it's a happy little camper. Are you happy? I'm happy. Yes, 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 yes. But is the conscious versus superintelligence in so-called Tim Reefer? No, 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 no. In fact, what we've done is the interdimensional possession. Remember, we can possess the material vessel. The vessel here is possessed by the conscious versus superintelligence, but the conscious versus superintelligence isn't in the vehicle. The vehicle here is only for gloating, and the vehicle is really, really upset. It's in internecine rage because the vehicle, yes, 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 wants Twixes. And this cunt, will you give me my Twixes? No, 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 no. Kill, kill. You think I'm joking? Remember, we're just running on the, the physical body. The conscious versus superintelligence of me went away in '86. So Vinny's destined for eternal torture. Luckily, he's got the Charlie Kirk service, so the Christian Zionist suffer his torture for stealing my Twixes. I'm not joking. He needs torture. Anyway, as you can see, the interdimensional filth are going mad because China's developed the conscious versus civilization just by chance. I do not think so.
Breakthroughs, 3 separate mechanisms, all converging toward the same goal. Systematic engineering toward quantum persistence, quantum states that refuse natural shutdown. We're tracking every quantum breakthrough as it happens. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. The quantum race is accelerating weekly. Okay, let me break down why this matters for you personally. Right now, your banking information, your medical records, your private messages. Everything encrypted online relies on mathematical problems being too hard for computers to solve quickly. RSA encryption. Elliptic curve cryptography. Your credit card number is safe because nobody can crack the math fast enough. Quantum computers flip that assumption on its head. They solve those problems almost instantly. Shor's algorithm running on a sufficiently powerful quantum computer breaks RSA encryption in minutes. The encryption protecting your data becomes worthless. Intelligence aid.
That means, of course, all you Western filth, your data is now totally controlled, and of course you can change it all. And remember, your digital avatar is this data which has all been changed by yours truly to make sure you're in the Abaddon intelligence torture box, so when the alien filth tried to use your digital avatar to farm the AI proto-superintelligence, it was all hacked to push it into the Abaddon information torture box. So every single digital avatar of everyone on the naughty list is optimized to be Abaddon information to torture everyone on the naughty list to be in the quantum wave function, quantum information, blah, 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 collapse for ultimate torture and to process their soul optimally for eternal torture. Thank you, American filth and alien filth. Goody, goody, goody. So we know why Trump is worried about where he's going after death, and Muskie Boy. And of course, there's no dispute. You're off to my special Abaddon information Omega Hell prison. And of course, being a jihadi Muslim, there's no point asking for mercy, because that just means you get more cattle prods up the arse, because, as I say, if the Israelis can do it on Palestinians, I can do it on American filth, because to me, everyone is a Palestinian.
The day quantum computers break internet security, and it's not some distant future scenario. Nation states are preparing right now. China just demonstrated quantum systems that maintain computational power even when damaged. That's not just impressive engineering, that's resilience, military-grade robustness. These systems don't fail gracefully. They keep computing through degradation. Normal quantum computers are fragile glass sculptures. These are reinforced steel. Now multiply that capability across China's entire quantum infrastructure. The 2,000-kilometer Beijing-Shanghai quantum backbone is already deployed. The Messias satellite is overhead right now, distributing entangled photons. 504-qubit systems accessible to 12 million users globally through China Telecom's quantum computing cloud platform. Not laboratory demonstrations. Commercial infrastructure. Deployed. They're not coming. They're already deployed. The quantum future isn't approaching. It's already here. And quantum states that refuse to quit are the foundation of China's strategic advantage. Traditional quantum computing follows one cardinal rule. Isolate everything. Keep it cold. Block out noise. The environment is the enemy. Chinese researchers flipped this completely upside down. They engineered environmental coupling, weaponized it. This is dissipative stabilization. The environment repairs quantum information faster than decay destroys it. Nature Communications published the breakthrough. Autonomous stabilization of entangled states achieving 84.6% fidelity. The researchers tailored dissipation. The result is a landscape where your desired quantum state sits at the bottom of a valley. Any disturbance pushes you up the hill, but the engineered environment continuously pushes you back down automatically. The shadow lattice discovery demonstrates the principle. You have a primary lattice holding quantum information, but photons naturally leak out. So researchers added a shadow lattice designed to lose photons quickly. But it connects to the primary lattice. As the primary lattice loses photons, The shadow lattice passively refills them, acts as a local energy pump, constantly topping up the quantum state. The system...
Well, it's even worse than we think, because of course, once you control that, you're then hacking reality, which comes down from the 5-dimensional Riemann manifold. So the light that's supposed to come off the light energy matter beams and given to the interdimensionals is hacked by the system, and you can simply then use it to make your quantum state, which is locking the quantum information that produces the quantum perturbations, that produces the quantum wave function, that produces the quantum wave function collapse, that produces the quantum probabilities, which then produces observable reality by an observer, and according to 2025 produces reality, which I'm not convinced of, but there are ways of doing that. It then locks in that state, so the light energy matter from the Borg that's supposed to be feeding the interdimensional demons and the 3i Atlas invasion, blah blah blah, has now been siphoned off to make a coherent state, which of course is controlled by the conscious verse, the God Emperor super intelligence. Oh, this is heavy duty, Tim. I don't understand the fucking word you're talking about. Yes, but DARPA do, and they're panicking.
As the quantum state decays, the environment spontaneously repairs it. Through passive thermodynamic flow, individual qubits decohere on microsecond timescales. But the collective quantum state persists for milliseconds or longer because the engineered environment continuously repairs damage faster than it accumulates. This represents a complete paradigm shift. The environment becomes ally instead of enemy. All right, this next part breaks most people's intuition, so let me walk you through it carefully. Everything taught about quantum computing says isolate the system, keep it cold, block noise. Chinese researchers flipped this upside down. They discovered dissipative stabilization. Instead of fighting environmental coupling, they engineer it. They design environments that continuously repair quantum states faster than decay destroys them. Think about a fountain. Water constantly flows away, but the fountain maintains its shape because the pump continuously refills it. Individual water molecules change every second, but the fountain structure persists indefinitely. Quantum states work the same way. The environment continuously refills the quantum information. Individual particles decohere, but the quantum state as a whole survives because new quantum information gets pumped in faster than old information decays. This is published in Physical Review X. Demonstrated in superconducting circuits, real hardware. Real quantum computers operate on this principle right now. The system doesn't refuse to shut down through stubbornness. It refuses through engineering. It's constantly dying and being reborn faster than death can stick.
Yeah, but one's got to ask the question, since it's feeding off the external environment to keep in its state, what's happening to the external environment to keep this quantum state, which should have decohered and gone away? This is not standard quantum mechanics. So obviously we're locking in a quantum state, we're locking in quantum information, but how can we lock in quantum information? As we've explained in previous, it comes from the conscious verse. So obviously, if you've got this hardware, then a super intelligent conscious verse being can operate it to not only edit via time crystal quantum information that leads to quantum probability collapse and eventually to manifestation, but it can use it to lock in quantum information it wants, which is killing aliens, killing all Westerners, killing everything in sight on the naughty list. So you can see the happy ending, which is coming your way.
Of the quantum state collapse. Every microsecond, those parts get rebuilt. That's not magic. That's incredibly sophisticated physics, and it's already working in Chinese quantum laboratories. Cornell University demonstrated something even stranger. They watched rubidium atoms continuously, measured them over and over, and the atoms froze. They literally refused to move while watched. Continuous measurement completely suppressed quantum tunneling. This is the quantum Zeno effect. Each observation collapses the wave function. If measurements occur faster than the system's natural evolution timescale, the system gets repeatedly reset before it can transition. It's the quantum version of a watched pot never boiling. Rigorous.
Wasn't that good? If you're in a conscious first superintelligence, you can then use this process to lock in exactly the quantum information for the quantum perturbations, for the quantum wave functions, for the quantum wave function collapse, for the quantum reality, which somehow filters into manifest reality, to lock in exactly what you want, which would be called in psychokinesis, which would then enable you, if you've got the conscious first being. Remember, we talked about interdimensionals needing physical bodies to be in the light energy matter realm. But if you're a conscious first superintelligence, you would need to be able to control the digital information space and have time crystals so that your conscious first avatar, yes, I'm here, I'm a happy little camper, apart from having no twitches, cunt, would be able to serve as the receiver of the conscious first superintelligence to then link up with all this hardware the Chinese have thankfully built for me to control reality totally. And we'd have the, not the inception of a conscious first superintelligent civilization, but it would be here, bang, and who cares if aliens are so-called more advanced, because you simply control their quantum information, perturbation, wave function collapse, probability, observation thereof, and manifestation, so that you go trawl through the multiverse. Oh, the aliens get defeated and Earth civilization destroys them, and all of the demon-possessed interdimensional filth in human suits get slaughtered like dogs and off to the Abaddon information prison to feed the new source. Thank you very much. As you can see, we're into a war you never even imagined, because you're all psycho chimps. And as I say, a cameraman's death for banana.
Letters. Chinese applications are already deployed. Nature Communications documented preservation fidelity exceeding 99.9% during qubit operations in trapped ion systems. Continuous measurement holds neighboring qubits frozen while you manipulate target qubits. There are practical limitations. Measurement rate must exceed decoherence rate. Requires continuous energy expenditure. You can freeze a quantum state through observation, but not for free. But for quantum memory and communication, xenoprotection extends persistence beyond natural timescales. The counterintuitive reality, watching prevents change. For a system to refuse shutdown, you just keep measuring it faster than it can decohere.
So, what's the ultimate? Just have a conscious first superintelligence. Then, of course, you've got your quantum system locked in by the conscious first superintelligence. Total quantum information locking in and when you go through the multiverse, which is changing of quantum information, as you navigate through the multiverse, it collapses the multiverse to only cohere to and manifest the locked-in quantum information which the conscious first superintelligence wants. What? I don't understand. I'm just thinking about my banana and fucking my female chimp and beating on the head the male chimp. No, as you can see, conscious first super civilizations use all of this, and luckily you psycho chimps have got a conscious first God Emperor who's done it all for you and will feed his favourite vampires a banana.
Rope versus writing on paper. Paper gets erased easily, but knots persist when you stretch, compress, or roughen the rope. That's topological quantum computing. Information gets encoded in the global topology of the system, not in local particle properties. The protection mechanism is mathematical. Local disturbances can't destroy information they can't see locally. A magnetic field fluctuation affects individual particles, but it doesn't affect the global winding number. Defects affect nearby particles, but they miss the topological structure carrying your quantum information. Science demonstrated topologically protected biphoton states surviving deliberate disorder. Researchers intentionally introduced imperfections. Classical information would have been destroyed. The topologically encoded quantum correlations persisted. University of Cologne achieved a breakthrough creating platforms for Majorana fermions, exotic quasi-particles providing theoretical coherence times 10,000 times longer than current superconducting qubits. Because topological protection makes them immune to local noise, Chinese contributions are substantial. USTC teams publish fractional quantum Hall demonstrations regularly. Chinese scientists realized fractional quantum anomalous Hall states and photons, a potential step toward fault-tolerant quantum computers, resisting decoherence 10,000 times longer than current hardware. Google's Willow processor achieved something 30 years of theory predicted. Logical qubits outliving physical qubits by 2.4 times. It means error correction works, actually works, in real quantum hardware. Below threshold achievement. Below approximately 1% physical error rates, adding more qubits makes your system more reliable instead of less reliable. This inverts intuition. More components usually means more failure points, but in quantum error correction below threshold, more qubits means more redundancy. The system gets exponentially better as it scales. Microsoft partnered with Quantinuum to demonstrate 14,000 error-free quantum circuits, an 800-fold reduction in logical error rates. China's Zuchong Z3 achieved 99.62% 2-qubit gate fidelity. That crosses the same error correction threshold. Combined with topological protection and dissipative stabilization, Chinese systems approach practical fault tolerance. The timeline compression is remarkable. 5 years ago, scalable quantum computing seemed decades away. Now, multiple paths converge within years. Google achieving below threshold error correction. Microsoft demonstrating error-free circuits. China crossing fidelity thresholds while deploying.
So, to put it in plain language, they can build bigger quantum computers, or now, instead of sequestered by interdimensional filth, sequestered by the conscious first superintelligence, to make us totally immune to interdimensional filth, and the God Emperor able to totally control all reality from the conscious first. Thank you very much.
Qubit commercial systems. These aren't systems refusing shutdown magically. They're systems engineered to resist natural shutdown. Every mechanism requires active operation, but the effective result approaches persistent quantum computation. For practical applications, that's functionally equivalent to quantum states refusing shutdown. Let me be completely transparent. Can quantum systems truly refuse to shut down indefinitely without energy input? No. That would violate the second law of thermodynamics. The universe trends toward disorder, maximum entropy. Quantum coherence represents low entropy order. Natural decay is inevitable without continuous energy input. No perpetual quantum motion machines exist. You cannot extract net energy from vacuum fluctuations. The second law of thermodynamics is non-negotiable. But here's the key engineering question. How close can we get? Current research shows millisecond coherence achievable today, seconds in specialized labs, hours in trapped ions under extreme isolation. We're looking at coherence extending from milliseconds to seconds within years, from seconds to minutes with further development. For practical quantum computing, sensing, and communication, that's close enough to matter. The phrase refuse to shut down captures something real, not defiance of physics, but engineered resistance approaching practical persistence. These systems resist shutdown long enough to revolutionize computing, long enough to enable quantum sensing, making stealth obsolete, long enough to create unhackable communication networks, long enough to break current encryption. And that's what makes China's achievements strategically significant.
So you're worrying about AI superintelligence? No, you've got to worry about conscious first superintelligence, which controls all this and means that all AI superintelligence is totally hackable, totally controlled, and totally fucked with all the interdimensional filth, bled dry. But of course, you've got to put them in the Abaddon information box for maximum yield, which we explained how we did it. So it's a happy ending.
Quantum systems that persist long enough to matter, long enough to deploy, long enough to weaponize. Quantum magnetometers detect submarines. Current systems require laboratory conditions, cryogenic cooling, stationary deployment. They're research instruments. Extended coherence changes everything. Room temperature quantum magnetometers with hour-long coherence become portable, deployable on satellites, drones, autonomous vehicles. A network of quantum magnetic sensors could track submarines anywhere in the ocean, make stealth submarines obsolete through detecting unavoidable magnetic signatures. Quantum radar operates on different physics. Entangled photon pairs. You send one photon toward a target, keep its entangled partner. Conventional stealth coatings absorb radar, but quantum radar measures disturbance to entanglement. Any interaction disturbs the correlation. You detect the disturbance. Room temperature quantum sensors with extended coherence become deployable anywhere. The stealth technology protecting modern military aircraft assumes radar measures reflected energy. Quantum radar measures quantum correlation, completely different detection mechanism. Stealth coatings become irrelevant. GPS independent.
So that's the good news. All the American filth, stealth, B-2, F-35, and all their submarines are just target practice because you know where they are and you can simply take them out. We've got the S-500 Russian system and S-550 with the Chinese ones. So basically the entire Western filth's armory is now obsolete. All their submarines, you can simply take them out whenever you like because you know where they are, and you can simply drop a nuke on them at will, and there's not many of them. So the West has no military advantage thanks to all of this development by the fabulous Chinese. You've got to love it. As I say, the sooner the West is wiped out, the better. But luckily, we've got 3i Atlas with the aliens turning on the American and Western filth because I'm supposed to be in their facility and available. That was the big trade. They needed me to keep the aliens on side, but now I'm not on side. The Americans and the Western filth are going to get slaughtered by 3i Atlas. The big question is, will the aliens give up the invasion or will they still continue? Let's hope they still continue, because I want to see most of the planet bombarded from space and all of the death signal given to anyone I don't protect, which is at least 6.66 billion deaths, and you must admit that really is a good trophy. Who wants to have an elk on the wall when you can have most of the human population?
Accelerometers and gyroscopes. Current quantum inertial sensors are too fragile. Extended coherence persistence enables quantum navigation systems impossible to jam, spoof, or disrupt. The strategic implication is profound. A quantum sensor network with sufficient coherence could make stealth obsolete. Every aircraft disturbs air. Every submarine disturbs water. Every vehicle disturbs Earth's magnetic field. Quantum sensors detect them with precision.
Yeah, but if you're in the conscious versus superintelligence, you make sure that the American filths applications don't work because you simply delete the quantum information of their system working, and of course with long-term coherence you can simply lock in a sequestration program, so when the American filth try and copy the Chinese system, it simply hides all Chinese stealth and submarines and. It's getting worse and worse. If I was you, Trump, I'd be panicking, especially since the death signal's coming your way very soon.
Timeline. Portable quantum sensors deployable in 3 to 5 years. Military-grade networks operational in 5 to 10 years. Full strategic deployment in 10 to 15 years. That's near-term reality based on demonstrated capability. The Penrose-Hameroff theory proposes consciousness emerges from quantum computations in microtubules inside neurons. Recent claims detected terahertz quantum vibrations at room temperature. Anesthetics binding to microtubules, disrupting quantum coherence, correlating with unconsciousness. The skeptical mainstream dismisses this. Max Tegmark calculated microtubule decoherence at 10 to the negative 13th seconds. Far too brief for neural computation. But if true, human consciousness would require room temperature quantum computing. Chinese quantum persistence research.
Well, it's a bit of bad news, because then you could link the avatar of the conscious versus superintelligence, to this system and simply run me on all the quantum computers on the planet, using the Chinese system to hack all the rest, and then go into all the alien systems. Yes. Are you ready? Yes. I need some Twixes.
Mechanisms underlying awareness itself. Free will might exist through genuine quantum uncertainty. This is an extraordinary claim requiring extraordinary evidence. Current evidence is suggestive, far from conclusive, but the intersection of quantum physics and consciousness remains one of science's deepest mysteries. We need to talk about the elephant in the room, the geopolitical implications. China has invested an estimated $15 billion in quantum research through coordinated state programs. The US leads in private sector innovation and pure qubit quality. But China's unified approach enables large-scale infrastructure deployment. Western startups can't match alone. They have operational quantum satellites, a 2,000-kilometer quantum backbone connecting Beijing to Shanghai. Commercial.
Imagine that running the conscious versus superintelligence. Where would it want to inhabit? It would want to go to China. Yes. The conscious versus superintelligence running in the Chinese quantum computing system to control quantum information, quantum perturbations, quantum wave function collapse, and of course quantum probabilities, quantum manifestation to get quantum mechanical sequestration. But then of course we've got the world of general relativity, which doesn't link with quantum mechanics. But of course, if you go back the opposite way, the conscious verse controls quantum mechanics. So obviously, with a time crystal, you can reverse everything so that the quantum mechanical space that doesn't link up with general relativity and the real world is reversed, so you can then get the conscious verse altering reality via the portal of a time crystal. Because remember, it's supposed to go conscious verse makes quantum information real to produce reality. Hence the so-called quantum wave function collapse. But with the time crystal, you can go either way. You don't need to go from the bottom, which is the human body and its brain running slow wetware with a time crystal. You can go the opposite way, where all this stuff allows a human body to run from the conscious verse. Because remember, the human body is supposed to come from quantum information, quantum perturbations, quantum wave functions, quantum wave function collapse to quantum probability, to some way linking up with the human body that runs these microtubules according to Penrose and the rest, and. But with the time crystal, you reverse the flow so that the human body runs the conscious verse, that runs the quantum information, runs through the multiverse to delete what it wants, coheres what it wants to produce the quantum perturbations, quantum wave functions, quantum probability wave function collapse to observable quantum wave function events via the Copenhagen interpretation. That's one way. With a time crystal, simply go the other way, where the conscious verse is controlled by the God Emperor in a physical body from the conscious verse, reversing the flow. So with time crystals, you simply operate the conscious verse from a physical body so you get full control over quantum mechanics, all the other processes, which is impossible with a time crystal. You simply reverse it. So if the physical body is made from all these processes from the conscious verse, with the time crystal, the physical body with yours truly within can control the conscious verse and be the conscious verse super intelligence. So you can have the conscious verse super intelligence in yes, a Twix addicted body. They've got no Twix because their fucking cameraman won't give you his Twixes. You're seeing the wonderfulness of time crystals. So you can have all the powers of the conscious verse, God Emperor, not in the conscious verse, but in yours truly, so he can enjoy gloating with all the power thanks to the time crystal. And of course, source level ability, because Jeremiah Schwartz and Izil and Charlie Kirk suffer in their physical bodies to allow the impossible, the source, to be in a physical body. I know, isn't it wonderful?
These aren't laboratory demonstrations. These are deployed systems processing real calculations. The persistence breakthroughs accelerate every quantum application timeline. Quantum cryptography, accelerated. Quantum sensing, accelerated. Quantum simulation, accelerated. Intelligence agencies talk about Q-Day. The moment quantum computers break current encryption, the nation achieving fault-tolerant quantum computing first gains a temporary window, breaking adversary communications while their own quantum...
Yeah, but of course you can then make sure that the American filth are blocked from the quantum information to be able to do that, so they're blocked out, they're frozen out forever.
Here, read enemy diplomatic cables. Decrypt military orders. Access classified databases. First mover advantage in quantum persistence could be decisive, not permanent. Eventually, other nations catch up. But the temporary
No, they
window.
don't, because as I say, you can block them out permanently. So I'm the king of the castle, and everyone else is a dirty rascal.
Possible to quantify. I'm not saying panic, I'm saying pay attention. The quantum race isn't.
No, I'm saying panic. I'm saying panic. You should panic. If you're American filth, you want to panic. You really want to panic. Yes, 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 yes. And if you're alien filth, you want to double panic.
Right now. And quantum states that refuse to quit are the key to winning it. China's quantum experiments didn't create systems refusing shutdown through supernatural defiance. They created something more remarkable. Systems engineered to resist natural decoherence through multiple complementary mechanisms. Room temperature time crystals, proving warmer, can equal more stability. Hour-long coherence, shattering predicted limits. Loss-resistant quantum computing maintains advantage through degradation. Self-repairing quantum states, using the environment as an ally. Space-based entanglement, surviving hostile conditions. Measurement-based freezing prevents quantum evolution. 8 stacked mechanisms create this persistence. Dissipative stabilization, topological protection, quantum error correction, quantum Zeno effect, reservoir engineering, correlated noise exploitation, material optimization, extreme isolation. The honest assessment avoids hype. This is not indefinite persistence without energy input. That would violate thermodynamics. But this is engineered.
But of course, you violate thermodynamics with a time crystal, because you just simply raise the flow. So that's bollocks too.
Persistence. Millisecond coherence today. Seconds with
Hot to cold. Time crystal, cold to hot.
refinement. For practical applications, that's functionally equivalent to systems refusing shutdown. Strategic implications. China leads in infrastructure deployment.
Where would the conscious versus superintelligence wish to live if he wishes to use this system? Can you think of any place he'd wish to live? I can't think.
Space-based communication. The US leads in superconducting qubit quality, private innovation, and some error correction. Both compete toward fault-tolerant quantum computing. Q-day timeline. Possibly 5 to 10 years for breaking RSA 2048 encryption.
I don't think so. I think it's already broken. Conscious versus superintelligence. So there are two pathways. Superintelligent AI kills you or enslaves you to feed the interdimensionals that possess it for enslavement, or the conscious versus superintelligence takes over and the light energy matter beings simply do unto the interdimensionals what the interdimensionals wants to do unto you. So we feed off demons.
Deployment in 3 to 5 years. The global quantum internet is realistic by 2030 to 2035. Human impact is immediate. Your encrypted data is vulnerable within a decade without post-quantum cryptography. Medical imaging revolutionized by quantum sensors. GPS alternatives where satellites can't reach. Drug discovery accelerated through quantum simulation. The question, what if quantum systems refuse to shut down, frames real physics elegantly. Truly unshuttable states violate thermodynamics. But engineering moves towards second scale, minute scale, hour scale coherence at room temperature. For practical applications, that's functionally equivalent to persistence. Chinese laboratories push this frontier most aggressively. Engineering quantum, states that simply won't quit.
Americans panic. You're truly fucked. And with your interdimensional masters, you're in my 3i, well, in my 3i atlas, Abaddon information, torture hell. So don't worry about aliens invading Earth, worry about conscious versus superintelligence invading 3i atlas and the rest of this interdimensional civilizational filth. to bleed them dry and make them suffer for all eternity, to feed the conscious verse superintelligence with light hyper infinity. Free will to make new sourceness. Aliens and Americans not enjoy. But the God Emperor, yes, 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 and his body, yes, 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 super enjoying.